We're still very much in January, just inching our way towards mid-January, and if it can feel like a long quiet month, one Clare village is about to fill with words, stories and conversation once again. After a few years hiatus, Doolin Writers Weekend is back, promising a mix of workshops, readings, music, open mics and late night conversations in a place where storytelling has always felt at home. The festival will be running from the 16th to the 18th of January with a stellar lineup. To tell us more, I'm joined by Donal Minihane, General Manager of Hotel Doolin, one of the driving forces behind Doolin Writers Weekend. Donal, thanks for joining us on the show this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. So, Doolin Writers Weekend back after a couple of years out of action. Can you talk to us a bit about that and why you and others felt it was important to bring it back now?
Yeah, so the last Doolin Writers Weekend was in January 2020, and that was just before COVID hit us. So I think it was the last festival to happen before COVID. So there was 2 years there where obviously we couldn't host it because of the restrictions. And then after COVID, we were just busy trying to get build back up the business here at the hotel. So there was a few years there of hard work getting things back after COVID. And it was only this year then that we were really able to take a breath and commit to running it again. So it's really been heartening to see the reaction that they had ran for about, I think it was 7-8 years. And people really missed the weekend. And it just goes to show you how the void that exists for events like this. So, like, we've put this weekend on in what is arguably the hardest weekend of the year to get people to go to anything. Because the middle of January, people haven't even got paid yet after Christmas. And it's hard for people to get people to go anywhere, not to mind down to Doolin. So we've seen this year the weekend tickets sold out, the day passes sold out, the workshops are full. So we're really delighted with the response, and hopefully now we can continue with this weekend and make it an annual fixture again, you know?
Yeah, and as you rightly say, Donal, January it feels like the longest month of the year, and people waiting to be paid and so on. Those could be potential stumbling blocks to, I suppose, the success of hosting an event in January. But the flip side of that, I guess, and maybe it's evidenced partly by the fact that it's sold out, or that you've sold, as you just mentioned there, people are just looking for something to brighten up their January. And I guess the other part of it is the lineup. I mean, if you're going to come back from a 6-year hiatus, you might as well come back with the likes of Roddy Doyle, Elaine Feeney, Aoife Dunn, Branwyn, Susan Tomaselli and more besides. It's quite the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great lineup, and we're blessed we're blessed in Ireland. Irish writing's in a great place. You could just read Irish writers and still, you wouldn't be able to keep up. There's so much diversity, and it's testament to Doolin that we're able to attract these writers as well. And as you said, like, I suppose the other thing about January is that there isn't anything else on, and it is a lonely month, and for writers as well, writing is a lonely kind of game. Some writers mightn't be the most social, and to be stuck in dark rooms at all hours of the night. So weekends like this are important, especially in a month like January, to both to set intentions for the year, but also to get out and meet other writers. To find your tribe, to say. So, like, there's been so many friendships forged at Doolin Writers Weekend. There's a great community around us, and it's great to see a lot of people who would have made an annual pilgrimage coming back again. And the other great thing about Doolin Writers Weekend that mightn't necessarily happen at other literary events is that the featured writers and the attendees mix freely over the weekend. There's no divide. So, like, you could end up, and I often have sitting down at Fitz's the counter and Fitz's with a pint, having a pint with your literary hero. So I'm really looking forward to having a pint with Roddy Doyle over the weekend. There's not many people, get the opportunity to do that. So it's things like that really make it as well, that really make it a special weekend, a special vibe, and people get to forge friendships and make connections as well.
Yeah, and I guess that's a big selling point of it, as Donal, that it's not some people might view other literary festivals as quite stuffy. This one clearly isn't, and that kind of, open doors, pints, tunes, late night conversations, I'm sure that makes it a lot easier to convince the likes, and obviously the lovely setting of Doolin makes it easier to convince the likes of Roddy Doyle, Elaine Feeney and other big names to come down.
Yeah, and we always say to them when we're inviting them, that we that we hope they'll stay for the weekends. We encourage them to stay for the weekends and to mix. That's the whole kind of ethos of the weekend. So everyone's aware of that going into it, and it really works out really well. And then the weekend comprises of workshops and seminars on the craft of writing during the daytime. So there's lots of work gets done during the day, but then the evenings there's readings, there's interviews with writers, there's an open mic, film screenings. There's a seance with Branwen in the attic. I don't know what's going to happen there, but anything that involves Branwen is going to be really, really original and really cool. There is, and we even have a spoken word mass on Sunday, so an event that celebrates the power of words, featuring comedian Aoife Dunn, who's really doing great stuff at the moment. The workshops then are on. We have essay writing, we have memoir, we have poetry, we have writing for the stage, writing for film, novel writing, and the only stipulation we give to the writers doing the workshop is that it has to be something new and original that they bring to Doolin Writers Weekend. So it's something that's never been an angle that hasn't been they haven't taken before at another literary event or that. So it's always fresh and new.
Yeah, and while we're talking about big names from other parts of the country and elsewhere, like Roddy Doyle, etc., you touched on Branwen there, Branwen Kavanagh, Donal, who of course is from Clare. And is it important for a festival in Clare like Doolin Writers Weekend to have representation from those either from Clare like Branwen or those like Tig O'Sullivan who live in Clare?
Yeah, we have Tig's film. Tig's an amazing filmmaker, and we're having Tig's also doing a workshop, and we're screening his film on Sunday night. Brenda Fricker was supposed to come down, but unfortunately due to illness, she can't make it. But nonetheless, we'll be showing the film, and she's in it. Also from Clare, we have an event featuring up and coming writers. Three writers living local, Matty Brennan, Katrina Quirk, and Laura Blaze McDowell. That's on the Saturday afternoon. That's a free event. And we also have a Queer Voices event from Menace Diamond with Sally Vince from Banner Books is organising that. That's on the Sunday afternoon. So loads of free events as well, and loads of local writers involved too, which is really important.
So in terms of those listening now this morning who want to get along, you mentioned certain tickets. Is it all sold out, or they're just a 2-day ticket sold out, or what's the situation at the moment, Donal?
So we have the weekend tickets are sold out, the day passes are sold out, but there's still tickets to, I think, the opening night, Roddy Doyle, and the Sunday Mass, if local people would like to come along, to experience, to hear Roddy Doyle read or to hear some other writers read. But the events for writers and the workshops, they're all pretty much full, I think.
Okay, well, look, get what is left, and the opportunity to be in the company of Roddy Doyle while they're still there. Given the way the tickets have sold out, they won't be around for long. Donal, great to see the weekend back, and hopefully it'll continue annually from here on in. And thanks for filling us in on it this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, and we'll chat to you again. Donal Minihane there, the General Manager of Hotel Doolin and one of the brains behind the Doolin Writers Weekend, with us on Morning Focus.